Hi, I'm Matthew Wade and I'm the editor of the Star Observer and a news presenter on Joy 94.9.
Hi, my name's Sarge and I have a massive interest in film and gender equality.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm doing my PhD in queer representation and fan cultures.
Welcome, thank you for joining me, guys. I thought a great topic that we could discuss today was, around this whole marriage equality debate, particularly in light of the postal survey and how it kind of is affecting young people. I know that campaigns on both sides have kind of used young people quite a lot, to evoke particular emotions in the Australian public. I guess I'll start with Michael. How have you seen young people being used in this debate?
I think, children are being used in this debate how they've been used, forever really, since, the beginnings of the gay rights movement. For some reason that, people just get so terrified around the protection of children and the safety of children, and they see that a lot of queer people as a danger to that, as a threat to that. We see children as the future, as the ultimate embodiment of innocence, and we see queer people, queer sexuality as, the antithesis to that,
Well, then in light of Sarge, do you think that the No campaign are almost using that as an effective strategy to try to get people to be scared of marriage equality?
Yes, 100%. And I also don't agree with the use of children for that reason because, Michael, I think you were mentioning this earlier. We were all kids at one time, and how would we feel when we, years later, we look back at that and we were used for something that was terrible. So just that strategy, it's clearly the adults, using kids as little puppets, and I think that's just completely wrong.
Yeah. And I think it's really valid as well that, maybe 10 or 20 years ago, it would be enough for someone to just use the fact that we're gay as ammunition to say, oh, the gays, it's a scary thought.
Yeah.
But now that, I guess, most people are on board with, gay and lesbian identity or people that identify that way, it's almost like they need something super fear-mongering like children, or think of the children to try to get people to rally behind the no vote.
You're right, it makes it impossible to oppose, because if the one side, the No campaign, if they're saying that we're the side that's trying to protect children, well, what's the opposite to that? Well, I personally hate children. There's no argument against that if they say that, well, our main priority is protecting children. They're setting themselves up to be untouchable.
Mm-hmm. Well, the argument against it is, no, you're wrong.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
We're considered youth, but let's just talk about younger people even still. Young people at the moment that are maybe, in high school or younger still, seeing students and school kids being used in this kind of way, how do you think it might be impacting them, seeing, the radical gender theory in school and, trans kids particularly being weaponized, how do you think it would be affecting young people at the moment? Sarge?
I actually got to think that through. I don't think I have an answer for you at the moment. Michael, what are your thoughts on that? Yeah. Handball.
Got it.
Yeah.
How it's affecting young people, oh God. I can imagine when I was in high school or, even earlier, when I was in the closet, this would have been, whenever something about gay came on TV, I'd change the channel because I just did not want it talked about for fear of being outed. And, the marriage equality campaign, or the No campaign more specifically, has been so prevalent in kind of mainstream kind of conversations right now that young people, they can't escape it, and all of a sudden they're seeing their friends and family members and sometimes teachers and schoolmates talking about their relationship and that, and their rights, and it's very terrifying for someone who's in the closet who can't actually say anything about that or has to kind of agree with them in a way. I remember when I was in the closet, I would kind of say a lot of homophobic things because I, didn't want anyone to find out, and it was incredibly damaging. And I can imagine that what I went through, young people now are going through that 100 times more.
And it's going beyond just, it's going even beyond just, things that people are seeing on television or hearing on the radio. It's entering the classroom as well, because I know I interviewed a young 13-year-old gay male earlier this month, and he was essentially saying that even in class on a weekly basis, whatever given subject it is, that will be coming up. The fact that there's a postal survey, the fact that everyone's debating marriage equality, so it's something that you can't even escape from. Even if you're closeted and you're trying to avoid hearing all this kind of stuff, it's actually permeating the classroom. I think to myself, and I'm not sure about you guys, but it seems really obvious that the No campaign are trying to talk about anything. The fact that they're talking about anything other than actual marriage when it comes to the debate makes it seem obviously very flawed. I mean, how do you guys see that? I mean, you know, ultimately, if we get marriage equality in Australia, I mean, how do you think that will look ultimately? Like, you know, the No campaign, you know, using young people in particular to try to get people to vote no.
Or are you saying you want to know how it would look like to the people that have been campaigning for the
no vote? Yeah.
Well, like anything, it'll just be forgotten. It will be as if it never happened. With progress, usually it's the positives that get spotlighted, right? And everything else is just going to be forgotten. So that's how I see it. I don't know if you disagree, but
in addition to that, I guess, and ask Michael. I mean, how do you think that the Yes campaign or people like us in the community and our allies should be responding to that kind of stuff? So when they're saying, you know, I think of the children, it's obviously they're just trying to grasp at straws, essentially. How do you think we should just be ignoring it? Do you think we should be acknowledging it?
Well, I think we should be acknowledging it because obviously it's resonating with people. You know, they're bringing up children because, you know, one, they don't have any other arguments, and two, because children, you know, saying that you're protecting children is like a really emotive statement. So I think we should be engaging with that rather than ignoring it. And I think the way that a lot of the Yes campaign has been engaging with that is talking about, well, yes, we are protecting children as well. There are a lot of LGBTI children who need protection from people like you know, and there are a lot of children who are, you know, their parents are, you know, gay or lesbian or bi, you know, and that they're affected by this as well. So I think we should be, you know, responding to them as well, like talking about children and saying that, you know, they don't have a monopoly on like protecting children.
Yeah, and I guess this is probably a rhetorical question to an extent, but do you actually think that any of these arguments that are being used, that, you know, if marriage equality passes, it's inevitable that things like safe schools will become mandatory, you know, or this radical gender theory will be introduced to school? Do you think there's any element of truth in that whatsoever, just out of personal curiosity?
I think so, yeah. I think there is a level of truth to that. I mean, I don't think anyone voting no is going to be watching, but, you know, secretly, like, they're right. You know, if marriage equality passes, it's most likely things like safe school will also pass. You know, it's like, you know, when women got the vote, like, oh, well, then they're going to be able to, you know, have their own bank accounts, and then they're going to be able to, you know, have equality in the workplace. Like, yes, it's a thing that's called progress.
Yes,
like,
exactly right.
The slippery slope argument is
progress.
correct.
Yeah.
Like, it's progress, and so they are completely right. It's just the thing. Their point is saying that they don't actually want any of that progress.
Thank you so much for joining me both today. I think it's a very interesting topic. Thank you as well, our audience. This has been The Talk on Bent TV.